Live from WRAL News Headquarters in Raleigh, your #1 source for local news. WRAL News, coverage you can count on.
Two things you need to know this morning. Our temperatures are on the way up, even though we're looking at 37. We've got some much warmer air on the way. And this afternoon, we have the potential for a few showers. That's going to kick off about 5 days worth of chances for rain. I'll show you when it looks heaviest.
And a murder suspect is on the run here in Smithfield, and police have released new details about the person they believe who is responsible. We're breaking all of that down from overnight.
Plus, the first votes are in for the crucial New Hampshire primary, with Nikki Haley grabbing all 6 votes. Why she says she is not giving up in the race despite former President Trump's lead there. It's tradition, it's history, that's what they do.
Yep.
It's kind of neat to talk about it. We'll get to it. I'm Jeff Hogan.
And I'm Ken Smith. If you like it warm,
yeah,
taste of spring.
Okay.
It's happening, but it comes with a caveat. Yeah.
I know it does.
Let's get over to meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner, the WRAL Severe Weather Center, tracking it all for us.
And here's the caveat. A lot of gray skies. It certainly was beautiful over the weekend just to look out at the beautiful blue sky, but it was very cold. Now we're going to do a complete 180. It'll be warmer, but cloudier with a better chance for rain. This is a live look at Fayetteville right now. 37 degrees in Fayetteville. It's 37 around the Triangle area right now. Oh, it just jumped to 38 in Fayetteville. 37 in Clinton. 33 Goldsboro. 34 Rocky Mount. We're above freezing now everywhere except for Roxborough, still sitting at 32. But still, these temperatures are 15 to almost 20 degrees warmer than this time yesterday, even in the 30s. We were seeing widespread temperatures in the teens early in the morning yesterday. Lots of cloud cover. We're going to see an increasing chance of some showers as we get closer to lunchtime. There's 10, 11 o'clock. Just a little bit of light rain around noon. That's out of here by the time we get to, say, 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon. But if you're planning to be out and about around lunchtime, you may be happy to have an umbrella with you. And then a chance Wednesday all the way through Sunday. It won't rain the entire time, but I'll walk you through the wettest periods coming up. Our temperature, 51, is close to normal for this time of year, but we jump way above normal later in the week. I'll show you that too in just a few minutes. Brett.
Thanks, Elizabeth. Looking forward to that. 8:02 right now. I'm Brett Neeson for Brian Schrader. I do have a couple of things to tell you about. There are some slowdowns out there that we want to give yourself plenty of extra time on pretty much all of our major routes, especially into Raleigh right now. But there is a serious crash on Buffalo Road near South Hall Road, right there at that intersection. This map not showing any delays on the sensors, but just check the Raleigh 911 map, and we are seeing a little bit of a backup in that intersection. So if you use that intersection, just give yourself a few extra minutes moving through there. I-40 at Sherwood Drive. This is our live look that we've been continuing to monitor, just because it shows you just how much traffic is out there on I-40 westbound as you approach US 1 and 440. That interchange, definitely give yourself 10 to 20 extra minutes on I-40 this morning if you're using that stretch. Over on the Durham Freeway, about 5 minutes heading southbound, 6 minutes heading northbound. It's really that stretch right there at 885 where it meets NC 147, the East End connector right there. Definitely give yourself a few extra minutes if you're using that stretch of the Durham Freeway to get down to I-40.
Hey, Brett, thanks. Well, new this morning, police in Smithfield want you to be on the lookout for this man. This is Marquise McCain. Around 1:30 this morning, Smithfield police released a video of him. He's 20 years old. Officers say he is responsible for shooting and killing someone at an apartment complex Monday. Let's get to WR's Laura Levine outside the Smithfield Police Department this morning. Laura, McCain should be considered armed and dangerous?
This suspect is still on the run, Ken, and police releasing new clues from overnight in this case that left one person dead. I want you to take another closer look at this photo. This is Marquise McCain. He is wanted for first-degree murder, and police say he was last seen wearing a hoodie. This crime scene video paints a very clear picture of just how intense the investigation began, as several officers responded to K Drive just before 5 p.m. for calls of a disturbance yesterday. They blocked off Johnson Court apartments after finding a person shot dead inside. Neighbors were seen standing outside, just clearly shaken up over what happened. Broadcastify radio traffic reveals a local taxi company may have unknowingly taken the murder suspect to this apartment complex.
Witnesses on scene are advised he arrived in a Spanish taxi. Possibly he left that way, so preliminary units could keep their eyes open for a Spanish taxi.
And officers did clarify the name of that company, Teletaxi. They did speak with police, so cooperating with them. But again, this man here, Marquise McCain, is considered armed and dangerous. Anyone who may know information about his whereabouts should give police a call. Laura Levine, WRAL News. We are live in Smithfield.
Raleigh city leaders want to make downtown more safe for you and your family, and today we'll get an update on those efforts. WRAL's Kelsey Coffey is downtown this morning. And Kelsey, this comes about 6 months after we got that new data about an increase in crime downtown.
Jeff, it sure does, and we've been telling you about this at home. Maybe you've seen this or experienced this for yourself, but crime in downtown Raleigh is up. This morning, we're in Glenwood South, and this is an area where we've seen an increase in crime. Today, city leaders will meet to get an update, a look at how the city's recent efforts to stop crime downtown are working. WRAL's data trackers dug into crime trends last year. They tracked crime in the area between the Warehouse District and Moore Square. Between January and August, Raleigh police reported 216 assaults in that area alone. Since we've seen this uptick in crime, the city has upped security. Last month, armed security was placed around the Go Raleigh station near Moore Square. They patrol there every day from 4 a.m. till midnight. This morning, city leaders will also talk about new strategies, new ways to prevent crime downtown, and that meeting is scheduled for today at 11:30. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live in Raleigh.
Now to the decision 2024. The first votes of the New Hampshire primary are in. Nikki Haley taking all 6 votes in the midnight balloting in the tiny town of Dixville Notch. The town is historically the first to cast its votes, with the tradition dating back to 1960. The polls opened at midnight and closed just minutes later. Of course, 22 delegates are up for grabs today in New Hampshire in this head-to-head matchup between Haley and former President Donald Trump. The state could provide the best opportunity for Haley to gain ground on Trump, who has been the clear frontrunner in the race. As Bree Jackson explains, it could be make or break for Haley, who is aiming for an extremely strong finish.
Republican candidates delivering their closing message to New Hampshire voters. Former President Trump wants to seal the deal for the GOP nomination.
We're coming to take over the beautiful, beautiful White House, and we're going to run the country the way it's supposed to be run.
Trump's former UN ambassador and Republican rival Nikki Haley seeks to finish stronger here than her third-place finish in the Iowa caucuses.
This really is an option. Do you want more of the same? Or do you want to go forward?
That's a sentiment echoed on the Democratic side.
They don't want Donald Trump.
Dean Phillips is challenging President Biden. Phillips is considered a long shot, but he tells me he hopes to build momentum in the Granite State, where Joe Biden's name is absent from the ballot.
He needs competition because if we coronate him, it's lights out. Donald Trump is coming back to the White House. That's just the truth.
Biden could still win New Hampshire through a grassroots write-in Biden campaign.
He's done a stand-up job with the economy, and I don't see why we would pick anybody else to continue that work.
Here at Stark Brewing Company in Manchester, craft beer is flowing, and so are conversations about the presidential race. Some say they are not enthused about their choices.
This is a tough election. This is a really tough election. Nobody wants to vote for people. They're all voting against people.
A sense of frustration as the first in the nation primary gives the country a sense of where voters stand in the 2024 presidential election.
And that was Bree Jackson reporting.
New Bern Avenue has reopened this morning east of downtown Raleigh after a gas leak had it shut down for hours Monday. Dominion Energy crews got the leak fixed just before 10:30 last night. The utility says construction workers unaffiliated with Dominion hit a line right near Clarendon Crescent Street around 2 Monday afternoon. It's right near Enloe High School and Apple Tree Daycare. The daycare was evacuated as a precaution. No one was hurt.
Going to a high school basketball game in Wake County might soon require a clear bag instead of a purse. Wake County School Board Committee planning to discuss the policy change proposal today. It will be for all spectator events, which includes concerts and plays. West Millbrook High School started requiring clear bags and made several other changes after a student was found with a loaded gun in his jacket at a basketball game. The board is considering some exceptions as well, like medical devices. You can find out more about the proposal in the education section at WRAL.com. We'll be, of course, keeping you updated and as we follow this meeting this afternoon. Well, time now, 8:09. He stole the iconic ruby slippers from the Wizard of Oz Museum in Minnesota. Now he's speaking out ahead of his sentencing. Just ahead, what the man who stole those ruby slippers is revealing about the crime.
Plus, the trial for Run DMC's Jam Master Jay begins today when we are expected to hear opening statements.
And today looks fairly normal, 51 degrees, but temperatures skyrocket into the 70s Thursday and Friday. You see a lot of raindrops on the 7-day forecast, too. I'll show you which days should be the wettest coming up. 8:13, starting on a gray note this morning, but we're going to see gray skies most likely all the way through Sunday with some showers on and off. It's not going to rain the entire time, but we're definitely moving into a different pattern. Temperatures will be warming up. We'll see more cloud cover and a better chance for rain over the next few days. It is still 32 in Roxborough, but that's the only spot that is at or below freezing right now. Temperatures will gradually warm up to a near normal high this afternoon of around 50-51. And of course, a lot of rain is back to our west. We're going to see waves of it moving through as we get through the next several days, not just today and tomorrow, but really all the way into the weekend, and I'll walk you through it. We're starting to see that Gulf moisture lifting across the middle of the country and pushing into the southeast at this point, and that's going to be the big change that we see. Our wind shifts now to southerly. Our wind was coming out of the north, bringing us all that Arctic air for the weekend, but it's that wind shift that changes things for us. We're going to see a little wave rolling through this afternoon. We take a look at what's happening right there around 10 or 11 o'clock. A little bit of light patchy rain that rolls through around lunchtime into the early to mid part of the afternoon. It should be out of here by the evening commute. And then tomorrow we're looking at another chance of some light showers. It doesn't look like much here on this version of Futurecast, but we do have the potential to see at least a little bit of light patchy rain for us on Wednesday. And then beyond that, here's Wednesday at 5 p.m., more rain back to our west. That starts to move in as we get into the afternoon on Thursday. So much of the daylight during Thursday should stay fairly dry. The evening turns a bit wet, and that continues into Friday morning. Most of the rain that we see will be light, but there'll be a few periods where the rain is heavy. Possibly Friday morning, we could see some heavy rain that tapers off in the afternoon. And then it really starts to pick up late Friday night into early Saturday morning. It tapers off, and then again on Saturday night into Sunday morning would be another period where that rain could be fairly heavy. Looking at about 1 inch to 2 inches during that whole time frame. So at this point, it doesn't look like we would have a big chance for flooding, but we'll watch it as things progress and things change. Of course, that's a loose timeline of when we'd have the best chance of seeing rain, but keep checking back, especially if you were trying to get anything done outside starting, say, on Thursday. Thursday, Friday, Saturday look like the wettest time periods. Temperatures warming up, too, into the mid-70s on Thursday and Friday. We'll talk about how close that is to records coming up. Brett?
Thanks, Elizabeth. Let's take a look at traffic right now, 8:15, and we do have a couple of crashes that are new out there on the roads. Normal slowdown spots as well. The Beltline, give yourself plenty of extra time if you're approaching Capitol Boulevard. Do have a crash on Hillsborough Street at Barrel Road. Not seeing any kind of slowdowns on the sensors, but it is something to keep an eye out on. Then there's one on Glenwood Avenue, US 70, near Ebenezer Church Road. Again, not seeing any delays on the sensors, but that is, a stretch of road that a lot of people use there between the Briar Creek area and coming into Raleigh. So give yourself plenty of extra time. Serious crash earlier on Buffalo Road near South Hall Road. We've seen some improvement there, so hopefully that's in the clearing stages. Still keeping an eye on that one. Also keeping my eye still on I-40 at Trailwood Drive between Trailwood and Avon Ferry. There's that major slowdown that really happens. A lot of cars starting to pick up there as you approach US 1 and the 440 interchange. 7 minutes northbound if you're taking 885 into the Durham area. 5 minutes if you're using 885 southbound trying to get to 40. So plenty of extra time on the Durham Freeway right now. It is slow in both directions.
Well, new this morning, jury selection in the trial of 2 men charged with the murder of Run DMC's Jam Master Jay begins today. Ronald Washington and Carl Jordan are charged with shooting the hip-hop pioneer whose real name is Jason Mizell. It happened in 2002 at his recording studio in New York. For years, his death lingered as a cold case, with witnesses reluctant to speak up. A third person, Jay Bryant, was also charged in the murder. He will be tried separately. All three have pleaded not guilty. The jury chosen to hear the case will be anonymous unanimous. Opening statements are scheduled for January 29th.
The Georgia district attorney who's prosecuting former President Trump now finds herself caught up in a legal case of her own. Fani Willis is charging Trump and 18 others with election interference. She is now accused herself of financially benefiting from a romantic relationship with special prosecutor Nathan Wade. He's a high-profile member of the team prosecuting Trump. This stems from a court filing by one of Trump's co-defendants who claims Wade used the money he earned from the DA's office to pay for vacations with Willis. Willis has not directly responded, but she appeared to defend Wade while speaking at a recent MLK Day event.
I appointed 3 special counsel, as is my right to do. They only attacked 1.
A separate filing by lawyers for Wade's estranged wife included credit card records that show Wade bought airline tickets for himself and Willis to travel together.
A man accused of killing 7 people at 2 mushroom farms in California last year will be in court today. Chin-Lu Zhao is facing 7 counts of murder and another count of attempted murder for the Half Moon Bay shootings. A grand jury indicted him Friday. Investigators say Zhao had worked with the victims at each farm. Investigators say have criticized the shootings, characterized the shootings as a case of workplace violence.
The FAA is urging airlines to take a closer look at the door plugs on an earlier version of the Boeing 737 airplanes. This comes after the incident on an Alaska Airlines flight where the door blew out of the side of the updated MAX 9 model. The plane was forced to make an emergency landing. FAA officials say airlines should visually inspect the mid-exit door plugs to make sure those doors are secure. United Airlines says it also found loose bolts on some of its newer MAX 9s.
Caught on camera, take a look at your screen. A fire truck spinning out of control down an icy street, terrifying people who live nearby. This happened Monday morning in Missouri. The truck slammed into a car and narrowly missed a nearby home. Firefighters were responding to a call for another accident that had just happened minutes before. As the truck hit the icy road, you can see right here again, the driver immediately lost control. Fire officials say the 4 firefighters who were on board that fire engine were not hurt.
There's a big old fire engine to be out of control like that. The Securities and Exchange Commission is releasing details about the cause of its hacked social media post. The commission says a hacker performed a SIM swap to log into SEC's X account and create a fake post. This happened January 9th. A SIM swap refers to when a phone number is changed to a different phone without the owner's authorization. The hacker disabled the multi-factor authentication and reset the password. The commission says there's no evidence its systems were accessed during that attack. Crypto crimes went down in 2023, but studies reveal criminals might be changing their tactics. Online crimes came to a peak in 2022, but then fell dramatically in 2023. Experts are warning crypto criminals may be upping their game for this year by switching to romance scams. That's when the scammers build a relationship with a vulnerable target to trick them into sending their money.
Well, Stanley tumblers are some of the most popular cups around, and they landed a California woman in jail. It happened last week at a store near Sacramento. Police say a 23-year-old was spotted leaving a store without paying for the shopping cart full of the trendy cups. An officer made a traffic stop and discovered the stolen goods. The Sacramento woman is being charged with grand theft. Well, the man who stole the iconic ruby slippers from the Wizard of Oz Museum says an old mob associate asked him to do it. Terry Martin is scheduled to be sentenced next week. He stole the shoes from the Judy Garland Museum in Minnesota back in 2005. They were recovered by the FBI after a sting operation in 2018. Martin told authorities he wanted to make, quote, one last score after the mob associate asked him to swipe the slippers. Now, due to his declining health, prosecutors have agreed not to recommend any jail time.
Governor Roy Cooper will visit his former elementary school today. He'll be at Nashville Elementary School for a tour starting at 10:30 this morning. While he's there, he will proclaim 2024 the year of public schools in North Carolina.
A Raleigh family is still getting a lot of attention after a personal visit from the president. 13-year-old Carter Fitz and his 15-year-old brother Christian got the education of their lives last Thursday. President Biden's team brought cookout food to the family's table and sat around and shared some stories. Christian recorded the experience on his TikTok page and shared his greatest memories.
He was cool. He's just a good guy. He has a lot of stories to tell. He's easy to talk to, so I wasn't nervous eating with him. He made me feel comfortable. You know, questions just like, how do you like to run for president? Like, why do you keep doing it?
I'd be nervous too, eating with the president. Well, President Biden also posted pictures of the visit to his own social media platforms.
Fans of high-scoring NBA action had plenty to cheer about Monday night. Joel Embiid scored 70 points to set a new Philadelphia 76ers record and lead his team to a win over San Antonio. At the same time, Karl Anthony Towns scored 62 points for Minnesota Timberwolves, set a new team record as well. Wasn't enough for his team, though. They dropped the game to the Charlotte Hornets. It's only the fourth time in NBA history, the first time in more than 45 years, two players scored more than 60 points in games on the same night.
Jeff, where's the defense? That's all I want to know.
It's like our temperatures, 60s and 70s, just going up. That's all.
Well, pop singer Pink will bring her tour to Raleigh this fall. The concert will be held at PNC Arena November 11th with Kid Cutup and another guest who has not been named. Tickets for Pink Live 2024 go on sale to the general public Friday at 10 o'clock in the morning. Some pre-sales begin today.
Are you struggling to keep up with your New Year's resolutions health-wise? You're not alone. Coming up, the changes you can make to stay on track and meet your goals.
Also, Durham Public School employees have some relief after finding out they do not have to pay back overpayments. Coming up, what's next in addressing the district's overpayment issues?
Get into your car, tune to WRAL News Plus on your radio. In Raleigh on 99.3 FM. In Durham, 96.5 FM. And everywhere on 101.5 HD3.
Good morning at 8:26. I'm Ken Smith. So happy you're with us. We've been experiencing some really cold temperatures, but we're about to get some changes in the forecast. Let's get over to meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner at the WRAL Severe Weather Center.
We got some spring-like temperatures on our way by the end of the week, but it comes with a catch. We have cloudy skies. You can see the gray skies here right now over Apex. Clouds will likely be with us all the way through the weekend. Between now and then, we're not going to see much sunshine. Right now, it's 31 in Tarboro, 32 Lewisburg, 36 in Irwin and in Goldsboro. So it's been a chilly start, but our temperatures will warm up into the 50s this afternoon. We do have a small chance of some scattered showers from about the middle of the morning through the middle of the afternoon. We'll see a high 51 this afternoon if you're headed out for exercise, but again, there may be some light patchy showers at that time too.
Let's take a look at traffic right now, and we have a 7-minute delay coming up northbound I-85, the Durham Freeway, 5 minutes if you're using southbound. So both directions right now on the Durham Freeway are slow moving right now. Here's our live look at 885 at Ellis Road, and you can see a little bit of the traffic there. That's one of the probably better patches, but it's right there where the East End connector meets. Taking the wider look around Raleigh, do have that slowdown on I-40 westbound south of Raleigh. A couple of other incidents out there on the roadways. Those are minor in nature, but we'll give you an update over on Fox 50, Ken.
Well, thanks to you this morning. Smithfield police are looking for this man right there on your screen, 20-year-old Marquise McCain, after officers say he killed someone at an apartment complex yesterday. Authorities have not released the name of the person who died. Police said McCain should be considered armed and dangerous. If you know where he is, you should call 911. Next on Fox 50, crime in downtown Raleigh is improving, but city leaders are expected to learn about the new safety initiatives. And coming up on Today, subtitles, why they're so important nowadays.
Shot in 4K ultra high definition. Your number one source for local news. WRAL News. Coverage you can count on.
Two things you need to know heading out the door. Temperatures are warming up. You know, we were in the teens yesterday, so we're starting our warming trend. This afternoon, we have the potential for some light showers. That's going to kick off a number of days in a row with chances for rain. I'll show you when it looks wettest.
This morning, we'll get an update on efforts to prevent crime in downtown Raleigh. Coming up, what the city is doing to make downtown more safe.
Also, police are looking for this man who officers say should be considered armed and dangerous. The search is on after shooting at a Smithfield apartment complex that left a person dead. Thank you for staying with us in this half hour here on Fox 50. I'm Ken Smith.
I'm Jeff Hogan. I appreciate you spending the early part of your Tuesday with us. And it looks nice enough out there, not as cold as it was yesterday. Don't forget the umbrella. You might need that for some showers later. Elizabeth Gardner in the WRAL Severe Weather Center right now. And these clouds just everywhere now. Yeah,
definitely looking gray all across the viewing area. This is a live look at Fayetteville. We'll likely see some scattered showers across the viewing area around lunchtime into the early part of the afternoon. 37 officially at RDU. Right now it's 38 in Fayetteville, 37 in Clinton, 34 right Rocky Mount, 37 South Hill, still 32 in Roxborough. It's the only spot where we're still holding on to freezing temperatures. But temperatures are anywhere from 15 to almost 20 degrees warmer right now than they were this time yesterday. So big change, even though it's still chilly out. Cloudy skies this morning. Once we get closer to lunchtime, we'll start to see a little patchy light rain that moves in. That's likely to be with us up until around the middle of the afternoon. And it's not likely to be much, just a little bit of light patchy rain. Tomorrow, another chance for some light patchy rain. And then it starts to get a little heavier on and off as we get to, say, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, maybe even into early Sunday morning. We're going to walk through that day by day and show you what we're seeing coming up in just a little bit. Our temperature this afternoon in the low 50s, that's close to normal, but temperatures could be 20 degrees above normal by the end of the week. Brett?
Thanks, Elizabeth. Let's take a look at traffic. It is 8:32. I'm Brett Neeson for Brian Schrader this morning. And we do have a couple of crashes out there. A number of them should be in the clearing stages at this point, but we're going to zoom in first on US 70 Glenwood Avenue near Ebenezer Church Road. Not seeing any big delays on the sensors, but that is a crash on a stretch of road that a lot of people use this time of morning. So keep an eye out on that one. I-40 at Avon Ferry Road. That's our live camera there. It's kind of frozen right now, but you can see that there are plenty of cars out there on I-40 as you approach US 1. So give yourself plenty of extra time. We did put a track on this. We are tracking, it looks like a 7-minute delay right now from 40 trying to get over to that US 1 440 interchange, but it's fluctuated between 7 and 15 minutes. So definitely give yourself plenty of extra time. 885 at Ellis Road. That's our live look here. And it's slow going right now on the Durham Freeway in both directions, northbound and southbound right now. It has improved to about a 4-minute delay in both directions, but just definitely give yourself a few extra minutes as we approach the 9 o'clock hour. Things should ease up.
New this morning, police in Smithfield are looking for this man after a murder at an apartment complex. They released this photo of 20-year-old Marquise McCain at about 1:30 this morning. WRAL's Laura Levine is at the Smithfield Police Department this morning. Laura, this is especially disturbing because this guy's out running around and he should be considered armed and dangerous.
Jeff, this suspect is still on the run. Police releasing new clues in this investigation overnight about the person they are looking for. Take a look at your screen here. A closer look. Once again, this is Marquise McCain, wanted for first-degree murder. Police say he was last seen wearing a hoodie. This crime scene video paints a very clear picture of just how intense this investigation began. Several officers responded to K Drive just before 5 p.m. yesterday for calls of a disturbance. They blocked off the Johnson Court Apartments complex after finding a person shot dead inside. Neighbors were seen standing outside, shaken up over what happened. Broadcastify radio traffic reveals a local taxi company may have unknowingly taken the murder suspect to this apartment complex.
Witnesses on scene are advised he arrived in a Spanish taxi. Possibly he left that way, so preliminary units could keep their eyes open for a Spanish taxi.
And officers did clarify it was a teletaxi company out of Selma. Again, this man here, Marquise McCain, should be considered armed and dangerous. We're going to continue to stay on top of this story, but anybody with any information about his whereabouts should give police a call. Laura Levine, WRAL News. We're live in Smithfield.
Well, city leaders want you and your family to feel safer when you navigate downtown. Well, today we'll get an update on their efforts to make that happen. Let's get to WRAL's Kelsey Coffey live along Glenwood South this morning. And Kelsey, that's one of the areas that's seen an uptick in crime in recent months.
Ken, it sure has, and we've been telling you all this, and maybe you've experienced this for yourself or you've seen it. Crime in downtown Raleigh is up, so we're in Glenwood South this morning. This is an area where we've seen that increase in crime, and today city leaders will get an update, a look at how the city's recent efforts to stop crime downtown are working. WRAL's data trackers dug into crime trends last year. They tracked crime in the area between the Warehouse District and Moore Square. Between January and August, Raleigh police reported 216 assaults in that area alone. Since we've seen this uptick in crime, the city has upped security. Last month, armed security was placed around the Go Raleigh station near Moore Square. They patrol every day from 4 a.m. till midnight. This morning, city leaders will also talk about new strategies, new ways to prevent crime downtown. That meeting is scheduled for this morning at 11:30. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live in Raleigh.
Now to decision 2024. The first votes of the New Hampshire primary are in. Nikki Haley taking all 6 votes in the midnight balloting in the tiny town of Dixville Notch. The town is historically the first to cast its votes, with the tradition dating back to 1960. The polls opened at midnight and closed just a few minutes later.
Going to a high school basketball game in Wake County might soon require a clear bag instead of a purse. A Wake County School Board committee is planning to discuss the policy change proposal today. It would be for all spectator events, so that means plays and concerts as well. Millbrook High started requiring clear bags and made several other changes after a student was found with a loaded gun in his jacket at a basketball game. The board is considering some exceptions as well for things like medical devices. You can find out more about the proposal on the education section, WRAL.com. And we'll be following that meeting this afternoon for you.
Well, speaking of another meeting, this one on pay issues at Durham Public Schools, that will happen on Thursday. This comes after the school board decided employees who were overpaid by mistake will not have to pay that money back. Monday was the board's first meeting since the mistake was discovered. The classified employees' January paychecks will be at that higher rate. Their future salaries are still in question, though. School Board Chair Bettina Umstead says an investigation into the overpayment issue is underway.
I want to be clear that we value each and every one of our employees and that we are working hard to resolve this situation, to understand how this happened and how it can be avoided in the future.
The CFO has been suspended without pay for more than a week.
Apex Town Council plans to honor the memory of the 2 women shot and killed in a neighborhood last week. Mayor John Gilbert announced there will be a moment of silence for Nancy Taylor and Gabrielle Raymond at the beginning of the Town Council meeting. The mayor is also requesting the Hunter Street Tower be lit in purple as a symbol of honor and healing. Tonight's Apex Town Council meeting starts at 6.
Well, 3 people are hurt after a crash in Aberdeen. Crews responded to U.S. Highway 1 near the 15501 intersection around 9:30 last night. A tractor trailer and an SUV crashed, leaving that SUV overturned in the middle of the road. 3 people who were in that SUV will recover from their injuries. The driver of the tractor trailer was not hurt. We're working to find out if anyone will face charges.
Another crash taking a toll on a community. Friends and family are grieving the deaths of 4 teenagers killed in a deadly high-speed crash in Johnston County. We first brought you this story as breaking news yesterday morning. Police say the driver was 17-year-old Alan Lockamy. Lockamy was a student at Smithfield Selma High School. 3 passengers, 16-year-old Samaj Williams, 17-year-olds Freddie Saras and Christopher Jackson were also killed. State Highway Patrol trooper clocked their car 104 miles per hour just minutes before that crash. A memorial at the crash site is growing. We reached out to family and friends, but understandably they are not ready to speak at this time.
Well, this morning, a member of the governor's cabinet will face some tough questions from state lawmakers about hurricane recovery efforts. Republicans have slammed Cooper's handling of hurricane relief for years. The governor came into office just months after Hurricane Matthew hit the state in 2016. That was followed by Hurricane Florence in 2018. Both storms are among the worst in recorded history. Millions of dollars have gone unspent for years, even as thousands in North Carolina wait on help to rebuild their homes. Department of Environmental Quality Secretary Elizabeth Beiser is set to testify today. For more on the hearing, follow today's coverage at WRAL.com. Well, the road to the Super Bowl is nearing its final stop. The Kansas City Chiefs play the Baltimore Ravens in the AFC Championship game Sunday afternoon. Then at 6:30 right here on Fox 50, the Detroit Lions take on the San Francisco 49ers in the NFC Championship game. The winners of those games will head to Super Bowl 58 in Las Vegas. That will happen on February 11th.
20 minutes before 9 right now, the conversation around family planning could be changing. Coming up, how one local pharmaceutical company is changing the future of birth control.
Also, we're well into the new year, but are you keeping up with your health resolutions? Coming up, experts offer some advice to keep you on track to hit those goals.
8:43, the time right now on our Tuesday morning. As we get things started, we got this blanket of clouds just about all over our viewing area. Elizabeth Gardner is in the WRAL Severe Weather Center, and it's going to bring some showers spotty later.
Looking at, late morning into the middle to the latter part of the afternoon, just a little bit of light patchy rain. But you see these clouds over downtown Durham. I hope you like it, because this is going to be what we'll see all the way through Sunday. We're going to move into a very cloudy period, a wetter period. We're going to see rain on and off, but a warmer period as well. So it's 37 right now, still chilly out there currently. We'll climb into the low 50s this afternoon, which is about normal for this time of year. We are above freezing everywhere now. Roxborough's jumped to 34. It's 34 in Rocky Mount and Wilson, 35 Goldsboro, 36 in Southern Pines. It is still chilly out there, but we will see temperatures warming up, and surprisingly, it's about 15 degrees warmer than it was this time yesterday. Around town, 51 in Raleigh, 50 in Durham, 54 in Fayetteville. I love our little walker with the rain boots on. It's not going to rain terribly heavily today. We have a lot of rain in our forecast over the next few days, so if you have some rain boots, they may get a workout, especially later in the week. Our winds are fairly calm and variable right now, but as we get into the day tomorrow, we're going to see the winds really pick up. Watch what happens with these arrows. All of a sudden we get into Wednesday and that flow shifts to southerly, turns red. That's the warm air that starts to stream in. So we're going to see a big jump in our temperatures starting Wednesday. 52 is our normal high, 51 today, but 67 Wednesday, and then 70s on Thursday and Friday. The records are in the upper 70s for Thursday and Friday, so we'll be 4 or 5 degrees from a record. Probably not going to set a record, but still not too far from it. And how many 70-degree days do we normally see in January? We actually average 1 or 2. The record is 10, set back in 2005. We're not likely to come anywhere close to the record. We don't normally see temperatures in the 70s until the middle of April. That's when that is our average. But we do often see, big swings in our temperature in the winter and the spring. So our normal high temperature is 53 by the end of this month and still in the 50s by the middle of February. But once we get into March, we start to see that trajectory really climbing pretty quickly. So yeah, we still have a little bit of time. Here's a look at Futurecast. We do have cloud cover with us this morning. We're going to see a chance of a little bit of light rain right around lunchtime into the middle of the afternoon. It's probably not going to measure too much, maybe a few tenths of an inch at the most in the rain gauges. And then another round of that potentially on Wednesday. And then we'll have some periods, especially say Thursday night into Friday night into Saturday, where we could see some heavier amounts of rain for a little bit longer period of time. Again, these temperatures are going to be very warm. We don't get back to normal and dry out and sort of change up our weather pattern until next Monday.
And happening right now in the WRAL Live Center, the 2024 Oscar nominations are underway right now. You have actress Zazie Beetz and actor Jack Quaid. They are making the announcements. This is for the 96th Academy Awards. There are 23 categories. Barbie really racking up the nominations this morning. Actor in a supporting role, we've got Sterling K. Brown, Ryan Gosling, Robert Downey Jr. They also went over actress in a supporting role, Emily Blunt, Danielle Brooks, America Ferrera, Jodie Foster. So this is happening right now. Again, there are 23 categories. The 96th Academy Awards are happening March 10th at the Dolby Theater in LA.
Oh, we're just glued to those names coming up behind you there. Thank you, Michelle. Nearly 30,000 professors, librarians, coaches, and other workers at California State University are on the picket lines this week. They walked off the job Monday in a week-long strike to demand higher wages. This comes after months of bargaining between the faculty union and university leadership. 2 weeks ago, the system offered a 5% pay raise for this year, far below the 12% the union wants. The Cal State system is the largest public university system in the country.
A surge in layoffs last year, and experts say it might get worse this year. According to a report from a career coaching firm, employers laid off workers by 98% last year. This comes shortly after the Labor Department announced the economy had added 216,000 jobs in December. Experts are warning layoffs in the labor market could get worse this year. The healthcare industry saw a 91% increase of layoffs, followed by the tech industry with an uptick of 73%.
Durham leaders are looking for your thoughts on how the city's upcoming budget should be prioritized. A community conversation on the budget is planned tonight from 6 to 8. It's happening at the Durham Armory on Foster Street. This will be the third in a series of 3 in-person forums. There will also be a virtual meeting January 30th.
A pharmaceutical company in the area is trying to change the conversation surrounding family planning by developing a birth control pill for men. Eppin Pharma is based in downtown Durham. It's led by former UNC biology professor Michael Orand. He says the goal is to create a non-hormonal pill that men could take to limit fertility. Orand says the concept has already proven effective in monkeys. The company says a non-hormonal pill would mean no side effects, and it could be easily reversible once you stop taking it.
It would also make men part of family planning. And for us, that's an important point, because having a couple in a stable relationship, they could both take part in family planning.
Well, the company says it would likely need a few $1 million to begin a clinical trial. Now, Eppin Pharma does receive the necessary funds, and if they do, Iran says it's possible a clinical trial could begin by the end of next year.
Emotional eating may be a common coping mechanism when you're upset, but oftentimes it is not good for you. Experts say emotional eating can cause weight gain and lead to other health issues like diabetes and heart disease. There are psychological concerns as well, like feeling guilty or shame after eating. There are healthier ways to deal with your emotions, and they include talking with a friend, going to therapy, working out, and practicing self-compassion.
And Jeff, while we're on the subject, here's a question to ponder. Are you struggling to keep up with your New Year's health resolutions? Well, you're not alone. But for those with fitness and health on their mind, dietary experts discuss ways you can improve your snacking and workout habits to help you stay on track this year. Jackie Banyas takes a closer look.
With the new year going strong, many people are pushing ahead with their resolutions. But according to data from The Ohio State University, roughly 43% of Americans will give up on their 2024 goals by the end of January. But if your resolution is to improve your health, there's ways you can upgrade your workout and snacking habits to help prevent your goals from going off course. Research from The Ohio State University reveals snacks make up roughly a quarter of the average American's daily calories, practically the amount we should be getting from one meal.
A lot of times we eat snacks just to curb a craving and not really to help us meet our total dietary goals.
Nutritional experts say most of the snacks people eat are high in carbs, sugars, and fats, and don't contain a lot of proteins, fruits, and vegetables.
We've taken snacks and we've consumed them a little bit more like random eating occasions.
While choosing healthier snacks is important, dietary expert Chris Taylor says it's even more critical to use snacks to help you meet your nutritional needs, especially if you're also looking to boost your energy to meet your workout goals.
So if you have eaten a late dinner and then you've slept to get up to exercise in the morning, snacks can become one of those ways to help you kind of fill up the tank so that you're not going out. Helps prevent injury and helps improve your performance.
And that was Jackie Banyas reporting. Now, when it comes to working out, the CDC recommends adults get at least 2.5 hours of moderate physical activity every week.
One health and fitness company is offering big bucks for those who stick to their fitness New Year's resolution. Jim Bird announced a new contest, Resolution Rockstar. It'll give one person $5,000 if they meet their fitness goals by March 29th. There's a catch, of course. If the winner can't meet their fitness goals, the money will be donated to their opposing political party. If you are interested, you can apply on Jim Bird's website by February 19th. Boy, is it an election year or what? A dozen French Olympic athletes took to the catwalk during Paris Fashion Week to show off their uniforms for this year's Olympics. These are the outfits France will wear, signature blue, white, and red colors. Designer Stefan Ashpool said he wanted to give the clothes a modern take. The Paris Olympics will be held from July 26th through August 11th on WRAL. This Friday marks 6 months till they kick off the Olympic Games. Panera Bread is making sure its controversial charged lemonade drink is out of reach of some of its consumers. Now, the chain is moving its highly caffeinated drink from the self-serve fountains to behind the counter at some locations. This comes after several lawsuits were filed against Panera and alleged the charged lemonade drink caused health problems and even death. Some Panera locations are putting up signs warning customers about the caffeine content.
Well, if you need a reason to get back to your ex this Valentine's Day, you can name a roach after that person. The Bronx and San Antonio Zoo says, what says love better than roaches? At the Bronx Zoo, you can have this guy named after your ex, and similarly, you can have your ex named after a zoo, after a roach that will get eaten by an animal.